Hey guys, it's Jimmy from A Kid's Opinion, and I know it's been a little while since I've uploaded a video, but I decided that I would come back to YouTube in this video reviewing The Suicide Squad, the new movie. So I was very excited for this. By the way, just so there's no confusion, this is a 2021 Suicide Squad movie, the one that just came out, directed by James Gunn, not directed by David Ayer. Two separate films. So this Suicide Squad is very different from the first one. Um, yeah, and I was a little bit background. You guys probably know, but I've been waiting for this movie for a year. I was super excited for it, and it was finally out. Let's see if it lived up to expectations. So let's start with the good. First of all, I have to say the comedy. Oh my gosh, I was laughing in this movie all the time. All of the characters are funny in this. Not all of them, but so many of them have such great lines. I'm constantly laughing. I feel like the standout comedic character in this movie is probably Sylvester Stallone as King Shark. He was so funny. He was always making me laugh, and he also got in on the action. But yeah, so many characters got in on the comedy, and it really worked out. And there's even I feel like another great comedic character in the movie was Polka Dot Man, who I feel like he's probably one of the best. I can't even say one of the best because there's so many well worked characters in this movie. You can't even say there's really a standout because they're all standouts. Yeah, I'll get to that later. The action. I heard that this was all practical. I don't know how. I don't know how they did it. My gosh, the action in this movie was so. A lot of it was practical, not all of it. It's very hard to find an actual giant starfish. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the starfish was CGI. Not like they made it. Yeah, this is a spoiler review, so probably should have said that, but it's gonna be in the title. Um, yeah, the action in this is so good. It's violent. And there's one scene in particular. Like I said, there will be spoilers. Rick Flag fights Peacemaker. The super intense, very good scene with choreography. The choreography in this movie is fantastic. But this scene, it's intense, it's emotional, and it is a great action scene. And even the scenes that just random people are being killed in creative ways, it's really good. The quirky characters are also really good. How all these characters are quirky. They all are different. None of them really blend together very much because they all have different powers, different things going on with them, especially these main characters. They're all very different. They have different beliefs, and they change throughout the movie. Some of them do at least. So yeah, they can be quirky, but yes. Now the next thing, they also have really good backstory. James Gunn balances this really well. Some of the characters have rough backstories. And King Shark, you kind of sometimes feel bad for him because he's never had any friends. Ratcatcher, wow, just a very surprising character. They gave her some backstory. Um, I think the best backstory was probably Polka Dot Man about how his mom always wanted him to be a superhero. And then at the end, when he zaps, when he so the thing is, he imagines because he hates his mom because his mom experimented on him and his siblings. He imagines everyone he kills as his mother, which is kind of a gag. Which again, it's funny, but it's also a little bit emotional and sad because he shouldn't have. He shouldn't really need to do this. He shouldn't be thinking of his mom that bad. But the point is that his mom was a terrible person. And then he goes, "I'm a superhero," super loud. And then he gets killed off by Starro, the giant starfish, and like that whole in my opinion, that was kind of a heroic death in a way because he did achieve it. He was a superhero in the end, and the backstory let him do that. The emotion, for me, the most emotional scene in this movie was Rick Flag versus Peacemaker. Wow, this was a super intense scene. They found a way to get a real conflict between the two, not just that they didn't like each other or something like that, which was kind of Bloodsport and Peacemaker, but they actually had kind of like moral dilemmas and a different, like really Rick Flag. He found out what was going on and it was terrible. Like, just so much in this works so well. And like the emotion is really good. Like, you hate some characters in this, you love some characters in this. Like, from like the opening scene, every character is expandable. I was watching it and I wouldn't have been surprised. I'm sorry, I would have still been surprised, but I wouldn't have been that surprised if Harley Quinn was killed off. That's like how this movie went. It was very emotional, and that fight between Rick Flag and Peacemaker was amazing. And Rick Flag did end up dying, and that was a very emotional scene. The second half of this movie is also really good. The first half, well, actually, the first part was good. The middle, I thought, lost some steam. It was still good, though. But my gosh, this second half and the final battle were just absolutely amazing. They were funny, full of action, full of emotion. The characters were, like, clashing against each other. Amanda Waller, great in this movie. And you really got to see, like, there was this, like, scene where she's, like, evil in the end. Just everything worked in that second half. And I was just, like, my mind was blown. Like, I was just like, this movie is amazing. I was saying that while I was watching it. Yeah, the acting, so good. I have to say, like, Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, I think, did great. The characters that are supposed to be villainous did great. The characters that are supposed to be likable, like, the actors did great acting them. Amanda Waller, wow, she's sinister. You want her to die, even though she doesn't. And the character, the Thinker, he dies like kind of a gruesome death, which like you're cheering for him to die because you see what he's done to children, what he's done to people that just opposed this family, and you like hate him so much. He is just a sinister, evil character that there's like even hinting as he's done like terrible things to them, like just like gross stuff, and you hate him. You're like, ugh. Like, and he even like smirks about some of the stuff he's done. He's just I'm talking about Thinker. I can't remember. I want to say the person who played him was in Doctor Who. I've never seen the show, but he did a really good job. Many of the actors, like all of the actors, I feel like did a great job. And then I'm gonna talk about the opening scene now. Like, the final thing I'm gonna say good about this movie, even though so much of it was good. Like, wow, this opening scene. At first, I didn't really like it, but then they kind of, you got to see that Amanda Waller was like evil. She was setting them all up. She didn't care if Rick Flag died. She didn't care if Harley Quinn died. She didn't really care if any of them died, but she set them all up so they would die. Just a really good opening scene. Like, crazy, like, action, crazy gore, what's, like, happening to all these characters. It's also just so incredibly funny what is happening with these characters. Like, the scene on the plane when they're talking about what Weasel is, and then, like, Pete Davidson starts, he's Blackguard. Blackguard starts, like, freaking out. Just a really, really good opening scene. Like, so much in this movie works. But this is not a perfect movie. There's the things that I don't like about this are so incredibly tiny. Like, so much of this works. There's just tiny little things. And when I was saying the second half and the final battle was good, I mean it was like perfect. I'm not sure I would change a thing. But now let's go into the mix. I'm gonna have to say the middle. The middle, I feel like, lost some steam. And the reason it's in the mix was because I didn't feel it was terrible. They did have some weird romance between Harley Quinn and this one character. And I wouldn't have liked that at all, except they tied it in with, like, Harley's, like, how she's always picking the wrong guys, and how they're always hurting her in the end. I did think they did well with that, but I also thought that they, could have done a lot better they could have done better in the middle. But by no means was it like, oh my gosh, get this over with. No. It was, I would have, like, if the whole movie was like how the middle movie was, it would still be better than many other movies I've seen. Yes, I do like the second half of this movie and the final battle much better, but it was by no means terrible. The middle portion of this movie, yeah. Now we're gonna move into the bad. The only bad thing I really found about this movie was the post-credit scene. So they make it so Peacemaker kills Rick Flag, and then he's about to kill Ratcatcher. It's something to do with his drive about Project Starfish, which is just like brutal, and I feel like James Gunn did a really good job with that. And then Bloodsport comes, and then he shoots Peacemaker in the neck, so it looks like he's dead. And I thought that just like Rick Flag, they did a really good death scene for him. Then in the end, they show that Peacemaker does survive in the end. If you want to make him survive, that's okay. Just don't, like, I thought they gave him the perfect death scene. However, if they did it with Rick Flag and had him come back, I would have been so mad. Like, they gave him they gave these two characters such good death scenes. I don't know, if you're gonna have them live, don't like fool us. Because I know you're gonna do a Peacemaker TV series. I get that. I'm excited for it. I just didn't like that they kind of cheapened it. Yeah. All in all, I'm gonna give the movie a 9.8 out of 10. Probably, this is kind of a spoiler for me. Probably my favorite movie of the year thus far. Definitely go watch it. Okay, the favorite movie that's been released in 21 that I've seen, my favorite movie that's been released in 2021 that I've seen in the year 2021. It's my favorite of those, and I've seen like 30 of them so far. So very good movie, like almost perfect. One of the best superhero movies ever, probably, that I've seen. I mean, it's a 9.8 out of 10, so obviously it is a fantastic movie. Go ahead and watch it. Yes, I'm Jimmy from. No, I said that after. Sorry. So yes, please like and subscribe. Comment in the comment section. Please give me suggestions how to improve my channel and recommendations on movies and TV shows to talk about, review, rank. I'm Jimmy from My Kid's Opinion, and be good people.